I don't know. The only thing you should be hearing is me. So I think everyone else has the ability to hear. Let's see. Free Watt, I'm not sure if I'm saying that correctly, from Maryland. So I am in the Washington, D.C. area. So I'm close to you. And it's cold today, which I like. It's finally turning into fall. I'm happy about that. We have the Netherlands. Ooh, Switzerland. Goodness. Never been there. Looks beautiful from the pictures. Ethiopia. Brunei, Darus. I'm not sure where that is. Hello, Dr. Rodgers. Just going through the chats. There's a New York. Okay. We've got a lot of Nigerias, a lot of Kenyas, some Ethiopias. There's another Bhutan. Karma, you might be the only one from Bhutan. That's all I've seen so far. Got a San Diego. Houston, Texas. Everything's bigger in Texas, right? Freezing in Florida. Yeah. Blake, I used to live in Tampa, and it was not freezing. How did that happen? Did I do that? There we go. Bonifaci, my webinar is not displaying anything. Yes, so there is this is being recorded. So if you can't watch it, then we'll send you the recording link in the next day or two through your email. Dan, you're the only Mexico I've noticed so far.
Oh, we've got a San Diego.
Mm-hmm. Mississippi is freezing. I think their definition of freezing is a little bit different from maybe people in the north, huh?
Yes, yes.
55 degrees is not freezing, Anna. Hate to break it to you.
I think it's in the 30s here in Philadelphia this morning.
Whew.
I like you figure that's Fahrenheit. A lot of our folks are used to the Celsius scale.
I have to do the math in my head.
I know.
Let's see. Anyone from Yemen? Nadera, I think you're the only one I've seen so far. Turkey. We have a couple instructors that I know from Turkey.
We do. We have someone from the United Arab Emirates. I was the United Arab Emirates in Model United Nations in high school, like 30 years ago. I represented the UAE.
All right, neat.
So I always love to see when we have students from there.
Let's see. Yosef asks, are we able to participate through the request to speak function? But no, there's no ability for students to speak. So you'll need to type your question. Isn't that correct, Dr. Rodgers?
It is, yes. And I'm so sorry about that. It's because of the size. It's not because we don't want to hear you speak, because Dr. Wolf and I absolutely do. It's because of the size, how large the webinar is. The technology just doesn't allow that to happen. So please, please type in the chat.
Cyprus, that's the first Cyprus I've seen. Honduras, okay. Egypt.
Ethiopia, some more Egypt. Kenya, lots of Kenya. Nigeria.
Yeah, let's see. Veronita, we just had someone. Am I the only one from Indonesia? So I guess you're the second one from Indonesia.
Ghana, there. We'll mention Ghana.
Shout out to Ghana. Yep.
More Nigeria. Oh, Papua New Guinea. Oh my goodness. I studied Papua New Guinea in college. See, this is like taking me back through my educational and anthropology. Oh my goodness, Papua New Guinea, and there was a yam festival, and oh yeah, so many fun memories of that.
Yeah, Somalia. India, France. Okay.
Tripoli.
We.
Saudi Arabia. I have a
Yeah.
very good friend there now. Yes, just FaceTimed with him last week.
I've got a student in Saudi Arabia, one of the 5910s.
Okay, the kingdom, in the kingdom.
Yep. There's another Indonesia, so there are at least 3 of you. Bonjour, Rose. I can say that word. KSA. What is KSA?
Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
Oh, Kingdom of, okay. Oh, Washington, D.C. Level. You and I are neighbors.
There you are.
I'll wave at you next time I go down the street.
Right. Another Ethiopia.
And there's a
Swaziland.
shout out to Swaziland.
Right. Tokyo.
Oh, okay. So it's midday in West Africa, and that's why there's a bunch of them. So this is a good time, I guess, for Africa. West Africa.
Haitian. I don't know that I've seen others.
Feels like the entire planet, literally like a village. I agree with that statement, especially here at UOPEOPLE.
Myanmar. And that more Indonesia. Indonesia is like the hot spot here. The unexpected. Oh, the British Virgin Islands. I like them. I've been there.
There's Oregon, and Tracy says grandfather lived in Kenya. Okay, that's neat.
Someone asked where I'm from. I am outside of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, in the United States.
Philly. Yeah, so that was actually the first capital of the United States was Philadelphia.
Yes.
Or, well, I guess New York, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Am I saying
if anyone's
that
heard of the Liberty Bell or like
Yeah.
Independence Hall, Philadelphia is home to the Liberty Bell. And my office used to be near it. I could like walk to the Liberty Bell. I would always take people there when they were coming to visit.
Yeah. The sun is blazing in Nigeria. Yeah.
And it is morning here for both Dr. Wolf and I.
He said, go Phillies, Blake.
You know what? That's very nice of you, but I'm from Pittsburgh, so I'm actually a Pirates fan. But I do like the Phillies too, since I live here now.
Yeah, you kind of have to. You might get beat up.
I kind of have to. Yeah, I could get beaten up.
Okay, so I show, Eastern North Carolina, Jessica. Okay. And Andover, Kansas. We could do this all day. But I did show it to 9 o'clock. So
Go Steelers.
we're gonna go ahead and get started. And gosh, I wish I would stop doing that. Welcome everyone. We're very glad you're here, Dr. Rodgers and I, and we're going to walk you through a slide deck shows you an agenda, but kind of the reason we're here today, and hopefully we meet your expectations. Dr. Rodgers is going to go off camera, but she's going to be monitoring the chat. So she will, chime in when there's a question kind of for the whole group. Now, I do want to start by saying, if you have questions about your courses, for example, you can't log into one of them, or maybe you need to drop that course, that's a question for your program advisor, not for us. What we're going to do today is help you understand how to navigate UNIV 1001 and the future courses that you take here at UOPEOPLE. So go ahead and ask. If you're not sure if we can help you, just write it in the chat and we'll address it. But we find that many questions do really belong to your program advisor. But that said, like I said, ask your question. We'll help you if we can. And thank you for telling us where you live, the countries, and there's a good reason that we did that coming up. So I want to take some time to introduce Dr. Rodgers and myself. So I am an adjunct instructor. I teach right now the Masters of Education courses. So most of them are teachers. Some of them not, but most of them are teachers going for their master's degree. Some of them do take this course. So shout out if I have any students watching the webinar. And I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Rodgers to let her talk a little bit about herself.
Hi, I am Erin Rodgers. I am the department chair for the graduate education program, but I also handle UNIV. I love UNIV. It is the first course that our students take. It's a great orientation and welcome to the university. I have worked in higher education for more than 20 years as an academic administrator, and I'm so happy to be here with you today. Thanks for coming.
Okay, and like I said, if you have any questions, put them in the chat box, and we'll pause every once in a while to address any questions. Okay, so here's our agenda. We're going to talk about why you are here today, why you are taking UNIV 1001. Terms of reference means when I say a particular word, I want to make sure you understand what I mean. So that's what terms of reference means. And then we're going to look at the student portal. Since it's early on in the week, we're going to show you how to submit your assignments to make sure that you know how to do that. And then we'll give you a look at the library and how to find resources, because you will need the library for your learning journals. And then we're going to take a look at the Learning Resource Center and then give you some points of contact. So the goal is to be finished by about 9:50. That's going to be challenging. And so I'm going to be talking fast, and I'm going to probably have a cat in my lap. So if you feel like you need to go because, you know, something's come up or we run over time, we will have a recording that will send you the link for. And so, you know, if you need to bow out, then go right ahead. And I know Dr. Rodgers may have some meetings, you know, coming up, so she may have to bug out as well. So purpose of this webinar itself. It's a pep rally, basic, that's our number one goal. We are so excited that you're taking UNIV 1001. We want you to know that we are here in the college. So sometimes when you have online studies, you know, it feels a little anonymous. You don't know what your your classmates look like. You don't know who your teacher is. So we're just here to show you that there are real live people here at the university. There are lots of us, and we all care about you. We want you to be successful. That's why we volunteer here as teachers. So we want you to be as excited about being here as we are excited about having you. We also want to give you an overview of the course. So a little bit about what to expect. It's only 8 weeks long, so you have a lot to do in a short amount of time. And then we just want to talk about the expectations that the university has for you as UNIV students and follow on as you become degree seeking. So I've put in a box. Please type in the chat what you think this statement means when I say University of the People operates in a global environment. So what does that statement mean to you? And if you would just take a minute, type in the chat box. While you're doing that, I'm going to ask Dr. Rodgers if we have any questions that we need to address.
We can, yes. Someone's asking, how long is the UNIV course?
Okay, yeah, it's 8 weeks. So all UOPEOPLE courses are 8 weeks. Well, 9 if you count the exam time. So for undergraduate courses, they're officially 9 weeks because you have 8 weeks of assignments, and then you have that last 4 days for exams. So your course is 8 weeks long, and then you have 4 days to take your exams.
And another question was, I was registered for the wrong course. I'm in health sciences. I got put in business. What should I do?
So yeah, that is a question for your program advisor, and I know that that can be frustrating because here you are, already in the week. But if you can contact your advisor as soon as possible, they may be able to transfer you to another course. I mean, it's possible they want you to take a business course. I don't know. So that is definitely a program advisor question. And I do have a general email address for the program advisors. If you don't know who yours is, you can just email advising@uopeople.edu, and I'll have that on one of our slides. But yeah, that is a program advisor question.
It is. And someone is looking for how to access the library.
Well, you are thinking ahead. We are going to take you to the library because, like I said, you need the library every week for your learning journals at least, and then you should be using the library for your assignments as well. Okay, so we're going to come back to the statement, University of the People operates in a global environment, and we'll see what you had to say about that. So why you are taking this course? It's going to help you as you start your college career online. So up to now, it's likely you have been in a traditional classroom setting where you've got your teacher up front and you've got all your classmates around you, and you have to you have to show up every day or every other day. And here in an online environment, that is not the case. You are completely on your own. The instructors will get in touch with you if they don't hear from you and you're not submitting assignments, but it's really up to you to take advantage of the time that you have to complete your assignments. So it's a lot different to be in online school. If you were in high school, the last couple of years with the pandemic, you were online, but your teacher was, showing up every day to make sure you were present. So we just want to help you get used to being in college online. We're going, this course in particular gives you some strategies for time management and how to deal with the stress you feel from your class. We teach you some study skills that you can use throughout your college career. And then what we mean by personal ownership is, nobody's babysitting you. You are responsible to complete your assignments. And like I said, the instructors will check in on you, but ultimately, if you do the work, that's up to you. If you don't, you're the one who's going to suffer the consequences. Okay, we're also going to talk in this course about APA formatting, which will be a term of reference. I'll explain. Peer assessment, which we'll talk about, and netiquette. And you might know what netiquette is, but that's how we should be speaking to each other online. So, often if you're in front of someone talking to them, you're going to be polite and considerate. And then what happens when we get online, we forget we're talking to real people and we might say things that are hurtful. So we're going to learn about netiquette in this course. And then the nuances of learning with an international student population. That's why I asked you in the beginning what country you live in, and why Dr. Rodgers and I were trying to mention each one is we want you to understand that you are no longer sitting in a classroom with people that you grew up with. Now you're dealing with people all over the world who have different cultures, different perspectives, experiences, understanding. So sometimes when we read things that other people have written, they sound strange, or she doesn't talk right. And you have to remember, we're looking at a global population. So Dr. Rodgers, would you like to highlight any of the responses to our question about the global environment? Are there any in particular to talk about?
I think that you've summed it up very well. And honestly, from looking at this chat, I think all of our students get it and they're
Good,
excited. And it's one of the
good.
reasons that faculty and students love University of the
Yeah,
People.
good. Yeah, great. Yeah, I think you're really going to appreciate all the different cultures that you're going to run into, as you go through your courses, particularly in the discussion forum. Okay, terms of reference. So again, what these words mean when I say them. Okay, so APA formatting is the American Psychological Association rules, how we format our papers, how the rules that we use for spacing and how the paper is supposed to look and what we're supposed to include in the paper. So you're going to learn all that because in college, you don't get to just write however you feel anymore. There are rules that you have to follow so that your reader knows what to expect. Your reader doesn't have to figure out where your references are or is this a new paragraph? Okay, so we use these rules so that our papers are easier to read and people can concentrate on what we're actually saying. Moodle just means the learning platform. So when you go into the course room, that's Moodle. So if your instructor asks you if you're having problems with Moodle, that's what they mean is the learning platform. Okay. Peer assessment in all of your UOPeople courses from here on out, you will have peer assessment as part of your learning experience. And peer assessment is just that. It's when your classmates assess your writing. So in the discussion forum and in the written assignments, you'll have your peers who are grading those. Now, I want to be explicit by saying your instructors also grade your papers. It's just we only assign a grade if there's an issue with what your classmates have given you. So you're going to see that your peers awarded you a certain number of points in the discussion forum. If your instructor feels like that, they didn't give you enough points or they graded unfairly, your instructor will fix that and will grade your assignment themselves. Same thing on the written assignment. So don't worry if you think your peers are grading you unfairly or they're wrong. Your instructor is checking every single assignment to make sure that you are receiving the grades that you deserve. And we'll talk even more about peer assessment in the Learning Resource Center. And plagiarism. Using the ideas of another person or organization in your writing without giving them credit. And it is theft of intellectual property and it is cheating. So when we say plagiarism, we mean you go out and read something and you say, oh, I want to use that in my assignment. And you put it in your assignment and off you go. You didn't give credit to the person who wrote or said whatever you just used in your paper. That's plagiarism. Course Hero, favorite site of students. And it is, they pull papers from that site and turn them in, and that is just cheating down, just bottom line cheating. So if your instructor finds that you have plagiarized, they will address it with you. They will teach you what plagiarism is and how to avoid it. And then if you continue to plagiarize, you'll start receiving zeros for your assignments and you can eventually be removed from the course. So don't plagiarize. We are here to help you so that you don't. It's pretty simple to avoid plagiarism. You just have to give credit. So it's just like if you go out today and you say, Dr. Wolf said that UOPeople is a global environment. You didn't plagiarize. But if you go around saying exactly what I said, word for word, or even close to it, and you don't say, oh yeah, Dr. Wolf's the one that said that, that's an example of, in your writing, what would be plagiarism. Okay, so, and we are very strict on it here at UOPeople. So just don't do it. Don't get started with that habit. Okay, Dr. Rodgers, any questions I need to address?
We do have a couple of questions. Let me see. A student saying, I'm having difficulty accessing my course. I'm new to online learning.
Yeah, so it's unfortunately a question for your program advisor. However, watch the webinar, and maybe when I take you through it, that will help answer your questions. So if you can't get into your course, I can't help you with that unless it's something that you're doing incorrectly, and you'll see, oh gosh, that's how I was supposed to get into it. Okay, but
And I think we
probably,
probably have a lot of folks who are thinking this right now, and that's exactly why we're here, and that's exactly why Dr. Wolf is going to take you into an actual course and show you how to navigate it. So
yeah,
if you have that concern, if you're feeling that frustration, you are in the right place, and we are going to show you how that's done.
that's our goal. That's right.
Someone else is asking about, are there specific times to take lectures and to hand in assignments?
Okay, great question. So here at UOPeople, we don't actually have lectures. Now, your instructor might meet with you on Microsoft Teams, but it's not going to be, to video or Zoom or something. It's not going to be a lecture. So we don't have those. Everything is what we call asynchronous, meaning you do it at your own time, your own pace. We don't have regular meetings. That said, you do have suspenses or due dates for your assignments. And briefly, I'll tell you your discussion forum. And if you have a written assignment, those are due Wednesday at 11:55 p.m. UOPeople time. And I will show you how you know what that is. And then your learning journals are due Thursday at 11:55. So you have deadlines for assignments, but you don't have any lectures.
Okay, someone is asking, what do I do if I miss an exam or an assignment?
Yeah, so if you miss an assignment, you can talk to your instructor and ask if they will let you submit late. Quite honestly, UOPeople discourages that because, you have to learn to manage your time, but things do happen. We understand that. So if you miss an assignment, talk to your instructor. Now, the flip to that is don't wait to do your assignments and then oops, something happens and now you're out of time. So, try to get those assignments done. But again, we understand things happen. So get in touch with your instructor. If you miss an exam, you're almost out of luck. It's really hard for the IT folks to open that exam back up. So if you miss an exam, you're going to be hard pressed to make it up. That's not to say you're going to fail the class. So don't give up, right? Get in touch with your instructor, see if there's something that can be done. But really, unless it's a national catastrophe in your country, or a military coup or something like that, you're not going to be able to make up that exam.
And I know that Dr. Wolf is going to show you the syllabus later of UNIV, and she's going to talk about how many points each assignment is worth. And it is worth noting in UNIV, 40% of your final grade, so that's almost half of your grade for the entire course, is based on the final exam, and 30% of your grade is based on the quizzes, 15% Unit 3, 15% Unit 6. So you really need to prioritize preparing for and then taking those quizzes and those exams on time. All right, we are getting some questions about how the CGPA, which is your grade point average, we're getting questions about why was I put in another course and then put in UNIV. Those are program advising questions. We don't have the answers to those questions. So I wanted you to know we're not ignoring your questions. They're just beyond our expertise, and you need to talk to your program advisor about that.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. I think
we will
that's
continue on. Okay, now into the student portal. So we're going to go into Moodle and be ready for the psychedelics here. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to tell you, I have two different courses open. One of them is old and one of them is current, because it just depends on what I need to show you. So keep in mind, this one is the old one, and it looks, you can see by the date, it looks just a little different from yours, but don't worry, I'm going to take care of you. So I want to point out some things. So this is Moodle, right? You are in the course room. This is Moodle. This top bar is always going to be here. Now yours is obviously going to look different because I'm an instructor. You do have the ability to have a navigation bar. Again, yours looks different, but you do have that. I don't normally keep it open because I like to have more space. But here you can see, to get to your different courses, this is kind of a quick access. So if you click it, it'll show everything you are taking. Resources, the library, and the LRC, we're going to look at those today. I don't think there's anything else. Catalog, student portal, okay, in links. I want to point out the clock. I mentioned UOPEOPLE time. This is what I mean. So this clock always displays what time it is for UOPEOPLE, not for you personally, right? So if I say your discussion forum is due Wednesday at 11:55 p.m., this is going to show 11:55 p.m. when it's due. So that's how you always know, no matter what time it is for you, that's UOPEOPLE time, and that's how we calculate whether you are late on your assignments, okay? All right, so some other things, and I'm going to go to the new course. So this is what your UNIV looks like. So you have a video, a welcome video. Hopefully you watched that. You have these as part of the course room. So like we talked about, the syllabus. We want to go in. I'm not going to read you the syllabus because I'm sure you have read it. If not, you need to. This is your textbook. I recommend that you download your textbook so that you have it on your hard drive all the time. And that way, if Moodle is down or you don't have an internet connection, you can still read your textbook, because you have assignments that you have to read each week. Okay, and goes through what your topics are for each week, course requirements. So you want to read through these: discussion, written, learning journal, and quizzes, and then your final exam. Now, here's what Dr. Rodgers was talking about. So here's how you know what's super important to do and what's really important to do. If you notice, she said your final exam is 40% of your grade. If you miss that exam, or if you fail that exam, you probably are not passing the course, or is going to be pretty close. Same thing with your 2 graded exams. Now you have a self quiz every week, and I'll explain that to you. That's different. But you have 3 graded quizzes, and as you can see, that's a big part of your grade. Then you have your discussion assignments, your written assignments, and your learning journals are also very important. So the learning journal is a conversation between you and your instructor about kind of what you've learned that week. It's kind of a reflection on how you've grown, and we'll go into that. But those are some really important assignments that you don't want to miss. Now, here's your grading scale. For this course, you can score a D. You don't want to score a D, but if you score a D, you will pass this course. I will tell you, you should not be okay with that. And I would assume if you're hearing this webinar, that's not you, okay? You want to shoot for an A in this class because you can absolutely do that, all right? And then just some things on, if you don't agree with your grade, this is a big one: academic honesty and integrity. And we talked a little bit earlier about plagiarism. When you submit work, give credit to whoever wrote that resource that you used. Okay, so that is your syllabus. You need to take a look at it because you're responsible for knowing it and complying to our rules. Okay. Course forum. All right. So this is an area for you and your instructor to kind of pose questions or introductions. In my course forum, I post a weekly wrap up of how the assignments went and how people did. So it's an area that you can talk with your instructor. So here's what they would do. They would post, and then if you want to reply, you click reply and you say, hey, I am so happy to be here. Or, hey, Dr. Moore, I don't understand the writing prompt for the assignment. Something like that, okay? But that's the course forum. But you do need to pay attention to the course forum if there are unread posts, and what that looks like is you'll have a number here that says unread, okay? And the next thing that you need to pay attention to are the announcements. So this is only for the instructor, and that's where they're going to tell you some important information. So for example, I have in my announcements about plagiarism, APA formatting, when assignments are due, things that are important for you to know, but this is not where the students talk back and forth, okay? And same deal, if there are unread announcements, you'll have a little number here, and you need to be sure that you check them out. And then you have peer assessment resources. So because you're going to be doing this for your entire college career, take some time and look at these resources. You want to be a good peer assessor. You want to be fair, and you want to be provide meaningful feedback. So take a look at the best way to be a peer assessor for your classmates. And if everybody does a good job, then the practice works, right? But if some people are just, I don't like peer assessing, and great job, or bad job, that doesn't help. So take a look at the peer assessment resources and make it a goal to do that practice well. And then navigating Univ 1001, that's just for this class. So it just kind of shows you about the LRC and what you can do during this course. Since it's a foundational developmental course, you have extra kind of time that we want you to go in and use these resources. So do that for yourself. Okay. So Dr. Rodgers, do I need to pause? Any questions about what we talked about so far?
Yes, there are some questions. Someone wants to know, how do I contact my instructor?
Oh, great question. All right, so I'll show you a quick, easy way to do that. If you go into the course forum, they will have posted, there's your instructor right there. So what you can do, if you go into the course forum, you can click on their name and it will open up. Well, it doesn't, okay. It doesn't here because this is not a real class. I'm sorry. But it will open up their information, and it'll give you their email address, and you can just click message. The other thing you can do is come here to this little message button. I don't want to open it because I have lots of messages, but if you click on that and then you type in just the last name of your instructor, you can find them that way. But probably the easiest way for you is to go into your course forum, click on your instructor's name, and their profile will come up. And I'm sorry it doesn't work here, but it's because it's not a real class.
The message feature that Dr. Wolf talked about, that icon with the message, that's called Moodle Messaging. So if your program advisor or if your instructor says Moodle Messaging, that's exactly what it is. And that is the preferred way that we like for you to communicate with your instructor. So I would always suggest that. But again, it's going to be called Moodle Messaging. So when someone says that to you, now you know just what it is. Mm-hmm. We got a question about, is the schedule going to be adjusted because there are a lot of holidays coming up?
No. So I get your point. For those of us, Western countries, maybe, or others, we celebrate Christmas, and that's like a whole month long, right? Or, at least a week. No. So that's a great reason to prioritize your assignments. Get done what you can so that you can have those days to spend with friends and family. UOPeople is very aware of all the cultures that are represented, and we celebrate important days with you, but we can't possibly take off every holiday because we would never be in school. So
right, we would never, like we just went through Diwali, and the folks who were celebrating that had assignments due on important days. So as Dr. Wolf said, go ahead and give yourself a little break by getting that assignment done a day or two early and handing it in, and then enjoying your celebration.
Yeah.
All right. We have, someone says, why do I have 2 courses, and when does the second one start?
Okay. So if you're in this button and you have more than one course, they are happening now. So if they're in red, they're going on. So the other one has started. You can be enrolled in 2. I think the maximum is 3 courses. I'm not 100% sure about that. But if you pull up my courses and they're in red, you're in that course active. So the other one has probably already begun as well.
So if you did not want to be in 2 courses, get in touch with your program advisor right away.
Yes. Yeah, because you have to withdraw. I'm not sure what the date is for this. It's probably next.
I think it's in week 4.
Yeah. You have to withdraw, or you will receive a failing grade on your transcript. So get in touch with the program advisor. It's okay to drop a course. There's no problem with that at all. We want you to work, to enjoy your time. And, if you're not in a hurry, you don't have to worry about how many you take. But if you want to take 2, then, that's fine. You're enrolled in it. But if not, no problem. Just get your program advisor to drop you from that course.
Yeah. Okay. We've got some questions about the app. I really do not recommend the app. There's an app in the App Store. It's problematic. You're not going to be able to access everything you want to access on it. So I really strongly recommend that you not work on the app. And Gordon, I don't know if your key is stuck, or I don't know, but you can stop posting the exact same thing over and over again. I don't know if you're just stuck. We're getting to all of the questions, so please stop posting that same question, because I'm worried that I'll miss other ones. Someone wants to know how to go into the LRC and is having some difficulty with the password. And I thought, do you want to do that later in the presentation?
I have it on this. Yeah, I have it on the schedule. So
okay, so let's just do that then. Since we're in here, is now a good time to show how to reply to a discussion question and how to do a rating?
Yep, we're going to do that.
Then that is it. So as long as we hit those things, I'll go back on.
Okay, so
quiet.
Dr. Rodgers will keep track and make sure I'm answering what I'm supposed to. Okay, so now again, this is the old course. So what I pull up are going to be different questions. Keep that in mind. I know that I will go through the learning guide for your current class, but when I pull up the discussion forums, and I'm going to pull up the old class because there are names in this class, and you don't need to see any of that. But we'll go to the current learning guide. So this is what you should be seeing. So the overview is just good information kind of summarized for you. So if you go, welcome to University of the People, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time in each of these because we could talk about them. But this is a video about the founder of the school. So we owe a lot to him. We owe him a huge debt of gratitude. And I think the best way you as a student can say thank you is to do well in your courses and to graduate with a degree that brings you happiness. Okay, so here's your introduction. Now this part's going to be different each week. In week 1, there's a lot more because we're trying to get you familiar with I'm sorry, with all the parts of Moodle. So there's not going to be quite this much each week, but you always need to go into the learning guide, and you always need to take a look at everything that's over here before you start trying to respond to your assignments. Okay, so this is just an introduction. There's always a transcript for every video we have. There's a transcript. So if you don't have the data or the internet connectivity, you can read the transcript instead of watching the video. It's no problem. Then you have the online classroom. So that walks you through how to learn in an online environment. Because like I said, it's different from having your teacher up at the front of the room. Navigating this course in particular. So what we talked about this earlier, because that was on the, on the main page of the course room. Sustainability. So this is, you can earn a badge by doing this. So read through here. There's a little bit of an exercise that you can do and get that, that badge. And then collaborative and peer learning. So how UOPEOPLE uses collaborative learning to promote your, and to further your success. Discussion forums. Now, this is not where you answer, where you respond to the discussion forum. I want to point that out. This is where you can read extra information to help you when you do answer the forum. So you'll have a question, and then the second that you respond to, and then the second part of your discussion forum is to read at least 3 other responses from students, and then rate those responses according to this rubric. So you have to do both respond and rate. APA style, we talked about that a little bit earlier, about how papers are supposed to look in terms of capitalization, spacing, paragraphs, headings. Okay, there's a lot to it. You need to get where you are very comfortable with APA formatting, and then you can it just becomes automatic. But if you don't learn the rules, you're going to struggle your entire college career. So word to the wise. Time management, that's sometimes easier for some people. Some people are naturally organized and aware of their time and what they have to do. And then some people are all, constantly surprised by, oops, it's the last day and I haven't done that yet. So in Unit 1001, we try to help you learn how to manage your time so that you're not just working all the time and hating life, or you're not missing assignments because you didn't realize, what day it is. Okay. Now, the discussion assignment is what you're going to have every single week. Again, this is not where you respond to it. Okay, this is just where you read about it. So for each week, you have a different writing prompt. For this week, it's about collaborative learning and how UOPEOPLE uses collaborative learning. You have a whole section on collaborative learning right here that can help you respond to that discussion assignment. So all your assignments none of them are opinion related. I think peer learning is great. Okay, good. But what do the experts say? What do all these sources say about collaborative learning? So you have to do your reading before you do your writing. Okay. And we'll come back a little bit to this particular writing prompt because that's what I'm going to help you find in the library. Then you have a learning journal. This is due on Thursday. So discussion Wednesday, learning journal Thursday. Some weeks you have a writing assignment, which we'll go through here in just a minute. This week, your learning journal, which again is a conversation between you and your instructor. It's a reflection, and it's in this case, college success and what that means to you, how you define it. Okay. And in your, this annotated resource list, this is a summary of all the resources you have available. So you can look through here and see if there's anything on, college success. What do you know? And it's in your chat, it's in your textbook. So that's where you're going to want to go to answer your learning journal. So in the learning journal, there is a little more opinion than other assignments, but you have to have done your reading before you can respond to any of your assignments. Notice 300 words, no more than 500 words. So if you don't meet that minimum, you're going to lose points. I want to point out on a discussion assignment, you also have a minimum and a maximum. And that maximum word count forces you to prioritize what you want to tell the reader so you don't just ramble. The minimum, make sure that you're telling us enough information so that we can learn from you. Okay, so that is week 1 in a nutshell. Again, keep an eye on the annotated resource list, because if you're like, I wonder if there's anything in here about a low-cost college degree. There it is. All right. So I'm going to pause and ask Dr. Rodgers if there are any questions that I need to answer before we go into how to respond.
Well, students actually are asking, will this be recorded? And yes, it will. Everyone who registered for the webinar will get a link to be able to watch this later. So I understand it's a whole lot of information. If you'd like to watch it in little bits later on, you can absolutely do that. And I do just want to make sure, Dr. Wolf, that you're going to show people exactly how to reply in the discussion forum.
Yeah,
and right. I thought we were headed to that next. Okay. Yeah. All right. Thank you. Okay. And we are getting questions again about my classes. What am I registered for? Those are program advising questions. So please ask your program advisor.
Yeah. Okay. So we were in the learning guide and we read all the information about our assignments. Now we come back into the course room. That's how you respond to for your discussion forum we just read about, and I'm going to take you to the old classroom. So the question is different. I want to point that out. So this one, you have the rubric, you have the information. You click on discussion forum, and okay, that's right. This question is the same, in week 1. Okay, so benefits of collaborative learning. How does UOPeople integrate? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back into my learning guide, and generally what I do is I keep both tabs open. And let's go here to collaborative learning. And you should already have read that, because remember, you need to read before you write. So here you got your information. Oh, advantages of collaborative learning. Okay, so now I'm going to show you a real quick example of plagiarism. Hey, learning to work. Okay, that's an advantage. So I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to go here to reply, and I'm going to start my post. Boom, and then I keep on typing. Well, guess what I just did? I just committed plagiarism because I didn't give my resource. Okay, so I'm going to come back in here and clean that up. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail because that would take up a lot of time, but I want to give credit to the source. So I'm going to say UOPeople, no date. Okay, and I think that was paragraph 3. So now I did a direct copy paste. So I need to put quotation marks around the direct quote. I did not commit plagiarism. So that's all I had to do not to commit plagiarism, was show this is a direct quote, and then I give my source. And later on in my references, I'm going to tell exactly where I found that, and we'll look at some formatting. But anyway, I'm going to give my reference. That way I didn't commit plagiarism. Now, the best thing to do is put things in your own words. So I'm not going to do it right now, but if I said, well, learning, if you learn in a group, you learn skills like how to communicate and compromise. Okay, so that's paraphrasing. Again, though, I have to give my source, but notice I don't have to tell the exact place where I found that information. So that's really fast and maybe more detail. I didn't mean to confuse you. I just want to show you that is how you reply. That is how you post. Don't plagiarize. Be sure you give your source. Then when you've written 250 words minimum, 500 maximum, and you have your references, post to forum, and there you go. Now, the way you show writings, I can't see it because this is my own post. But if this were someone else's post, right here, there's going to be a little thing that says rate. And there's going to be a little box with a down arrow. And you open that and it'll show you from 0 to 10. You need to think about when we were here and we saw the rubric for 0 to 10. That's how you rate. And remember, if you give someone a 6 out of 10, that's almost a D. So make sure you're grading, again, fairly. Did that person give you information and you learn? Did they format correctly? Did they provide references? Rate them based on that. And then you need to respond to that person. So the way you do that, we're going to go back in here and I'm going to respond to myself. But if I were somebody else and I would respond to her, I would say, hey, you really brought up some good points. I like how you mentioned communication and compromise. I find that when I work with a group, I learn a lot better, whatever. But you want to give meaningful feedback, not just great job. All right. So you want to be sure that you tell that person what you learned from them, what you liked about what they said. Maybe you have a question like, well, do you think if you're not in a group, you can still learn to compromise? Whatever question you want to ask. But the point is meaningful feedback, rate that person based on the rubric that we saw in the initial information, and do that at least 3 times each week. Okay, Dr. Rodgers, any questions, anything you want me to tell them any more about discussion posts?
Yes. Well, it was a question about plagiarism. How do you use some of your old work, something else that you wrote, without it being considered plagiarism?
Yeah, so UOPEOPLE has a policy. You are not allowed to use previous work without permission from your instructor. And there is a way to cite and reference yourself. So, it happens. Sometimes we've already studied something and it's good information and it fits in with that assignment. You have to ask your instructor, you have to provide them that, whatever you want to use, and ask them if you can use it in this current assignment. And then again, you do have to cite yourself. So don't do it thinking, well, it's mine, I can write whatever I want. Well, kind of, but it's still going to be plagiarism because you've used it before and you're not acknowledging that. Now, I feel like
you're
it's
not
better
rewriting it in a way that makes it new again. Certainly there might be information. You might find a resource that you like that you may reference a number of different times in this course, in another course. But you need to always reference the work and it needs to meet the assignment.
Right. Yeah. And like Dr. Rodgers said, I tell my students, if you used something before, you should have learned even more about that topic by now. So hopefully you're not having to reuse, what you've already used because you don't want to study, right? Or you don't want to learn something new. So bottom line, you're not allowed to use it without permission from your instructor. And you do have to cite and reference, just like another author.
Yes.
Okay.
We did get another question about how to contact your instructor. I'll just kind of say quickly, your instructor is going to be the person that posts all the discussion forum prompts. They're going to be posting the announcements. So their name is going to be highlighted in kind of that pink red, and it will say instructor. That's how you know who your instructor is. And you can go up to your Moodle messaging, which Dr. Wolf showed you, which is that icon, that message icon. And then just open that up and you'll type in their name. And that's how you contact them.
Yeah. And like I say, I don't want to do it because I have messages, but if you just click on it, then the little message thing comes up and you just type in that right there, and it'll pull their name up.
Okay, I think that's it. And we have 7 minutes.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much you have.
I can tell you right now, we're going to go over.
Okay.
So
I am not. I'm sorry. I have an appointment I have to leave for.
Okay, that's right. Yeah, and I don't know if Harpreet is on, if she can let you know if she can stay late.
I also want to make sure we're respectful of people's time. We told them this would be an hour. So this is going to be recorded. So if you need to leave after an hour, that is absolutely fine. We will continue the recording.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe I need to speed it up a little bit. All right. So now also in week 1, you have a learning journal. And so you have your writing prompt, the way you respond to your, I don't think this is going to work because it's past. Yeah. Okay. So I can't show you without any names. All right. So when you go into your learning journal, this for you is a blank screen, and what it says down here is, I think submit, something like that. You click on that, and you get a blank, like a whiteboard, and you can start typing. And you have ways to format. So first thing you want to do, you want to keep this thing open. Maybe in another tab so you can keep track of your question, because that's the best thing to do is just go through those questions, answer question 1, answer question 2, so that you don't forget to tell your instructor. Now, remember, you're limited to 300 words. Oh, I'm sorry. This one is 400. They're different week by week. College success. You got that information from your textbook. And let's see if it's the same for the new class. Yeah, college success, how you define it. So you need to use your textbook for that. And then, do you have any concerns or worries? That is all you. You don't have to look, you don't have to quote a source, because this is where the reflection and the opinion piece comes in. What are your concerns or worries? Your journal entry, again, is between you and the instructor. It's not peer assessed. So whatever you want to share, please do, because it just helps your instructor get to know you better. Okay, now from there, you just need to space down 3 times. So don't submit after this learning journal, because you're going to put your APA exercise on the same place that you put your learning journal. So you get done with your learning journal, space down 3 times, and you're going to start with your APA exercise. And this is where we're going to go into the library, because we're going to help show you how to answer this question. Okay, so it says every week you're going to have an APA exercise. This week is going to be an ebook, so an electronic book from the UOPEOPLE library. Okay, find a book on a topic you're interested in, whatever book you want. There's no topic required. This is all for you. Okay, so the way you get to the library is you go to resources and click. And then I'm going to right click on the library. And this is what it looks like. And when you see in writing, LIRN, learn, that is the library. So we're going to go into the library. And here you have all these topics. So the library is just like a real library. It's a collection of books. In this case, they're nonfiction, informational, and it's on all thousands and thousands of topics. So all this does is, if you wanted to find a book on something specific, you could go straight there. So health and medical, boom, it takes you down to health and medical. If you're not sure what topic you want, you don't have to do that, because you're looking for an ebook and you're going to go to ebook central, and that's in every single topic. No matter what topic, you're going to find ebook central. Okay, so let's say you're in health and medical, because I heard that a little earlier. So I'm going to go into ebook central, and you have a search bar. Now you can do advanced search, browse subjects. So I recommend you go into advanced search, and I'll show you why. So say you're looking for things about teeth cleaning. Okay, so it's health and science, teeth cleaning. Oh boy, 26,783 books about teeth cleaning. So here's where you can start kind of limiting. We recommend you find books published in the last 5 years, particularly computer science and health and medical. So let's limit our books to the last 5 years, and it's going to lower our results. So now we have 1,800 books. So, okay, that's a little easier to manage. Unlimited print, copy, and download. You can do that, but it's going to really, really limit. And since you're not trying to download it, probably, then I wouldn't necessarily mess with it. All right, so again, for purposes of time, wigs, veterinary dentistry. Okay, so this is teeth cleaning for animals. Sounds like an interesting book, right? Okay, so all I have to do for my learning journal was find a book that I'm interested in. So we're going to look at the title, author, year, URL. Okay, so again, when you finish your prompt, you space down 3, and now you start answering these questions. So the title of the book, in this case, Wigs, Veterinary Dentistry, Principles and Practice. Author or authors, these are your authors. Year that the book was published. So here you might have to go into the copyright page to find the year. And it looks like it was 2019, because remember, we limited to the last 5 years. And then the URL. And so that's going to come from here, share a link, and you can just copy that and you're done. Okay, so that's how you answer the APA exercise. And you type it in reference form. Okay, so you type the reference that you would find in an article or a paper that you write. Then you're going to write the in-text citation. Now remember, you can get all your information to help you answer this question from your learning guide. So remember that we went there and we had APA style. So this page is going to help you write your reference and citation. So you have all the information you need to help you write your assignments. Okay. And then once you're done with that, again, you're typing on this blank screen and it says you can submit as a draft or you can submit. So you can do whichever. If you know that you're done, just go ahead and submit. If you think, oh, I'm not sure I did that right, send it as a draft. But try to go back in and put it, into a formal submission so that your instructor knows you're done. Okay. Dr. Rodgers, I know you need to go. Anything else I need to tell them about?
A lot of the questions, how we're getting.
Okay, I am having a goodness. Can everybody hear me okay? All right.
I can't.
All Harpreet, can you hear that? Okay, so
Some questions about we're really getting, I think that we can. Yes, people can.
okay, Harpreet, if you can hear me, the sound is really off. Okay, let's see if that helps. Okay, does that help? Yes. So Dr. Rodgers, if you can still hear us, your sound was breaking up. So I muted you. Let's see what happens. Okay. All right. So she needed to go anyway. So I'm going to put us back on the screen. Harpreet, I don't know if you can type in the chat and tell me if everything is good. So the sound should be okay now. Now it's fine. Manuel, thank you. Okay, so Harpreet, if you can somehow let me know if you're good to keep going. I do want to go through the Learning Resource Center. So guys, when I put you back on share screen, I'm not going to be able to see the chat. So you can keep typing questions, but I'm not going to see them probably. So what I recommend is you stop typing questions. You can type other things like WhatsApp or whatever you want to do, but if you have questions, stop typing them because I will not see them. And then when I come back, I won't see your questions. So that's my recommendation to you. I'm going to go back into sharing my screen so we can go through the Learning Resource Center. But like I say, don't type any more chat questions because I cannot see them and there's nobody to monitor. Okay, so we're going to go into, I do want to take you real quickly to next week because you're going to see that next week you have a written assignment and I want to show you how to submit that. So your written assignment is, you have rules and you have to use APA. So 1 to 2 pages in length. Now, for a student paper, you are supposed to have a title page and a references page. So I'm going to show you what a student paper looks like. Now it's a little bit hard to tell because the way they have it, but it'll give you an idea. Let's see. Let's just take a look at this. Okay. So again, don't type any questions because I cannot see them and they will get lost. So this is what a student paper looks like. This is your title page. You name your paper, whatever you want to name it. It should be based on the assignment, right? So if your assignment this week is about peer assessment, then the title of your paper, needs to be something about the benefits of peer assessment. Now, you don't put your name at University of People. We don't have the student's name on the paper, so don't do that. Then you have, you put Department of General Studies, University of the People, UNIV 1001, online learning strategies, whoever your instructor is, and the due date. That is your title page. And then you start typing, and here's your title again. Notice this person is typing. They have headings. So all this can be found on that website that I just had pulled up, which is called APA Style. If you just type in APA Style, it shows you everything you need to know how to write a paper. Again, back in your learning guide, remember you had the whole page on APA Style to help you write your paper. But that is what a student paper looks like. Now, yours is obviously not going to be that long, right? Because they're saying 1 or 2 pages, but you're actually going to have 3 to 4 pages. You're going to have your title pages 1, and then hopefully 2 pages about your information. Notice it's double spaced, Times New Roman, and then your last page is going to be your references page. And this is what references look like. So I didn't show you this when we were in the library, but this is what they look like. The author's last name, year of publication, title of the book, and the publisher. This is a website, Stress in America. Okay, if we went there, that would be a website. So just take you there real quickly so you can see. So this is the website that paper referenced. Okay. Notice authors and all this information. Don't be overwhelmed. It's not that hard. All this information is either on this website, okay, paper format, APA style. You're also going to find the information in your APA style on your week 1 learning guide. Okay, so your paper is actually due in week 2, but you can always go back to week 1 so it will help you write your paper. And again, don't be lazy. Do the work, learn APA formatting, and then you don't have to learn it again. All right. Now, in week 3, you are going to come back to week 2, and you're going to, when you open up the written assignment, see how you see this? You're going to see 3 papers that are assigned to you, and you are going to grade them, and you'll have these criteria to help you. So did the student define peer assessment? You should be looking at this rubric as you write your paper so that you make sure, hey, I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do. Did you describe why it is used at UOPEOPLE? Remember, that's in your learning guide where we had collaborative and peer learning. So you're going to get some information from here. All right. So you have all the information you need to write a good paper that is APA formatted. It's just at first, it's going to take you some extra time. It's going to be hard. That's just the way it is. But once you get past about week 3, you're going to start going, wow, I got a lot more time on my hands because now I understand what I'm doing. So don't be lazy and don't give up. All right. So that's written assignments. So that's all I'm going to take time right now to show you in week 1. Just remember, in week 2, you have that written assignment. Oh, the way you submit is yours looks a little bit different, but down here it'll say, submit or something like upload submission, something like that. You want to upload either a Word document, a Google Doc. Don't share the link, upload the paper, or PDF, whatever you want to do, but you do need to upload an actual paper. Don't type directly into Moodle. Okay. Notice the rules: 1 to 2 pages. Remember, 3 to 4. Double spaced, 1-inch margins. That's standard for Word, Microsoft Word and Google Docs. Times New Roman 12 font, and a word count, not for your references though. So your word count is going to end right here. So you would have something that you do all your typing, and then down here you say word count, and you type whatever. Now you notice this is not in Times New Roman, right? So we're going to Times New Roman 12. That's what it's supposed to be in. Okay. And you can get this same paper, not to plagiarize, but you can get this same paper from that website that I just showed you, which is APA style. Okay. And if you go down sample pages, and there it is, and that'll help you. All right. So lastly, we're going to look at right now is the LRC, Learning Resource Center. And I'm going to go here and click, and I'm going to right click so I can keep all my stuff open. And in the learning resource, now it says enroll. You only have to do that once. If you don't enroll, that's okay. The thing is, though, if you complete your activities, you don't earn any badges. So go ahead and enroll. That way you get 100% functionality. If there are announcements, they will come from the faculty, and it'll be something like, hey, don't forget to enroll in your next class on January 5th or whatever it is. Ask the Experts is where students can come in and ask questions. So how to check a reference from my work, and Learning Journal Unit 1. Now, that's not a real good topic because we don't know what class he's in, right? APA format and reference. Okay, that's a question that is probably helpful. I cannot enroll. Okay, don't know, APA format. So when you ask a question, try to be specific so that if I'm a student and I'm looking through, to see if, oh, has anybody asked this question? Oh, that's what I wanted to know. This, how does that help me, right? So be sure that if you ask a question, and you have to be enrolled to ask a question, make your topic, specific so that other students know what you're asking. Now, I want to show this, and you don't have to enroll to get this, but several of us put together some books that we recommend you read. And it's right here on this PDF. Here are the keywords or the tags you can use. So if you're looking for resources to help you be kind of better at studying or something, how to write a sentence, how to run. All right. And yes, yours truly does have a book here. Okay. So yeah, that's a good resource for you if you're looking at all these topics that you might read about. Group dynamics, that might help you in your discussion forum, right? Because remember, in your learning guide, you do have a lot of resources, absolutely. But find some stuff on your own too. That's why I took you to the library. Don't just rely on everything that UOPeople gives you. Okay. So more about the LRC. There are all these modules. Whoops. Well, goodness gracious. LRC. I did something. Okay. So you have all these modules, Peer Assessment Office. And that's where you can go and learn more about, again, you want to be fair when you assess your peers. So how do you peer assess written assignments? Okay. Remember that from your Learning Guide 1. How do you find your feedback? So when somebody grades your paper, how do you find the feedback that they gave you? All right. So check that out. Academic writing. This is a big one for you because you've never done it. And now you are. So go into academic writing. Research and analysis. Okay, you're going to be a researcher, particularly once you start your degree-seeking courses. Academic honesty, that's about plagiarism and also information about APA style. Okay, English language resources. If English is not your first language, please go visit this module because you may be pretty good at speaking English that maybe you learned in school, but it's not going to be formal English that you need for academic writing. So come in here, do some of these exercises, and make sure you know the rules behind English grammar. And these are interactive. So there's a whole bunch of stuff here for you. If you've got some spare time, instead of watching 30 minutes of Netflix, spend some time on your English language resources. Technology, okay, so you can see all the rest. Now, information literacy means when you find information, how do you use it, okay? These are under development, so they're not quite ready for you yet, but academic writing, peer assessment, and English language resources, probably going to be the ones you should visit the most. And of course, APA style. But again, you can look at APA style webpage for help on that. Okay, so that's quick on the Learning Resource Center. What I'm going to do now is hop back to the, oh, I sure hope I was sharing. Oh my goodness. I don't know if was I sharing. Oh, you are not able to see the screen. I am so sorry. Oh my goodness. I am sorry, guys. I wasn't sharing my screen. So real quickly, you heard what I was saying. I'm just going to point them out to you. And I'm so sorry about that. Peer assessment, academic writing, academic honesty and APA, and English language resources. Again, those are the ones that you probably want to visit the most. Again, starting this course, the first 3 weeks are going to be a lot. You are going to feel inundated. You're going to feel stressed. You're going to feel overworked. And then it all kind of works itself out because now you know what you're doing a little bit better. Okay. Oh, Ahmed, no, you were supposed to see the screen. Sorry about that. Yeah, like I say, the first few weeks are going to be overwhelming, and we understand that. And the things that you need to do, stay in contact with your instructor, with your program advisor. If you start feeling like you can't manage, talk to your instructor first, right? Don't just quit doing stuff. Don't just drop out, say, I'll come back next term. Talk to your instructor because they will be able to give you ideas about how you can manage, and maybe you skip an assignment one week. I'm not recommending that at all, but we'd rather you do that than quit. Okay. So I'm going to go back to the chat. There's a bunch of stuff I've missed, and I'm not going to try to go back through it. But if you have questions for me, I will read through here. We are perfectly fine with you starting WhatsApp groups. We don't manage them, so keep that in mind. Oh, Zara, journal articles. Thank you. I meant to show you that. I'm going to go back to the library. So I'm going to share my screen again, and I'm going to show you how to get journal articles because Zara reminded me that I did not do that. Let's see. Okay, so if you can stop asking questions, hold on to your questions because I'm going to share my screen. And remember, I can't see the chat. So I'm going to go definitely sharing this time. So let's go back to the library. This is how you find journal articles. Okay, so again, let's say you want a journal article on success skills because that's the topic of your, I think, next week's learning journal. I can't remember. So ebook central are ebooks, right? Is ebook. The rest of these are going to be journals. Some of them are very specific. So this is references, okay? Physical sciences, technology, right? These are, just hover on them and you can see what you want. So let's say that we go, these are 400 journals, vocations and careers. Okay, so we're just going to go in here and see if we can find something about define success. I don't know. Sometimes you just kind of start typing, right? Okay, what defines success? All right, now that may not be college success, so that I'm not sure if that one's going to work or not, right? These look like they're more about businesses, but you can go in here and say, maybe define college success. Let's just see what we come up with. Okay, we only got 3, but that's okay. If you don't see anything right away, sometimes you can look through there and you might find something, but these I don't know, they might work for you. Here's the thing I want to point out. Always select full text documents. Okay, I'm going to show you another journal. Let's see. Let's take a look at, okay, 200 journals, environmental issues. Nope, wrong one. All right, well, yeah, I guess a lot of them are Gale. I'm used to education, so that's why I'm stumbling just a little bit, because I don't really look at most of these, but it looks like everybody's got Gale, so Directory of Open Access Journals. Okay, let's see what we get. It might look the same. All right, so now we're going to do, again, define, well, let's see, college success, right? Here we go. Uh-oh. Oh, you know why? This is the name of the journal. Okay. Sorry. That's a directory. You have to know which journal you want. Now, Eric is going to give you articles, but they're mostly education related. So again, full text. College, high school data. Again, last 5 years, we want to limit. So now we have 2000. So I don't want to take up everybody's time stumbling around the library. You're going to figure out pretty quickly which journals you like the most, depending on what your degree is. So if you're computer science, then you need to go probably to the computer science section, right? And find those journals that you like. But that's how you find a journal article is don't go to eBook Central, go to Gale, and those are your journals. Okay. So, I hope I did that okay for you. Whoever asked me that. Peter, the webinar has actually officially ended. If you need to go ahead. We are still recording me fumbling around the library, but I can stay here for a little bit longer, as long as Harpreet can, who is the webinar recorder. The exact journal we want, we searched the subject and found cited article. How do we get that and download it? So if you find the article, all right, so just say, not that one. I'm going to try to find one you like. Okay, so just say this is the article that you want. Then you click on it, and there it is. Now, sometimes you'll have a picture of a PDF that says, download this article or whatever. So like this one does, download the PDF. Okay, but if you use it, if you read it on HTML, that's fine. It's going to be the same thing, but just some of them let you download a PDF, and some of them you just read on the website. Oh, I can see okay. We haven't seen your screen. Well, you should have been seeing the screen. If you haven't, I don't know what's wrong because I have been sharing. In written assignment, can we write our own title? Yes. No on the question. So great question. Your papers should never have a question as a heading. So if you have a question like, what are the benefits of collaborative learning? You're going to turn that into a statement. The benefits of collaborative learning are. So do not put a question as your heading or a subtitle. Okay, everything should be in statement form. You search in other sites. Now we need it to download. Zara. I'm not sure what you mean by that. I'm very sorry. In other sites, oh, maybe you mean beside the library. So if you go to, yeah, Ahmed, I stopped sharing. So Zara, if you go to Google, is that what you mean? And then you want to download that article? If that's what you mean, you're not going to, you may or may not be able to do that. It just depends on Google. So sometimes if you go to Google Scholar, oh, I'm not sharing. Okay, so, okay. If you go to Google Scholar and you type in, college success, Okay, that's a book. Okay, all right. So this is a PDF. Then you can click on that. And sometimes it'll let you download there. Sometimes though, with Google Scholar, you can't access. You find a really good article, but you can't access it. So the answer to that is go back into the library, go into one of those journals, and see if you can find it that way. Okay. So sorry about this screen, so I can answer the questions without unsharing. How will we submit online classroom exercise and sustainability module because their box won't be ticked? Let's see if I can figure out what you mean here. So if you go into sustainability, well, again, I have a different view, unfortunately. You should have, the survey should just be right there for you. So maybe I'm not understanding what box you mean, Jackson, or Mutabazi, I'm sorry. Yeah, you have to buy it. Hey, I would say, Zara, don't ever buy anything. You don't have to. You can find something just as good for free. So please, guys, don't buy articles. Don't buy access. You have plenty available to you in the library. I just recommend you do not pay for anything. Okay. Can you make your screen wider? No, I'm sorry. That's as big as the webinar screen will let me do. Google Scholar got lost. Yeah, it is. It's hard to cite from there. It's sometimes good information, but you know, truth be told, I usually just go to regular Google and sort through there or the library. How to complete the online classroom sustainability module. Oh, okay. Completion progress. That is a new tool. So that's that little box. I don't know if it's, no, I don't want to show you because it's got names, but I would say don't pay attention too much to that box because it's still a work in progress. It's a neat tool when it works, but if it's still showing blue and you know you did it green or you know you did something, just ignore it. Okay. Recorded webinar, you will get a link from Harpreet. Well, it'll look like it's coming from me from the recording. Okay. The ones that are right to the weekly task. Jackson, I don't remember your question. I'm sorry. Can't log into your course. Okay. Tech support is support at Moodle. Let me take you back to the slides because I've got some stop sharing. Got some points of contact for you. But if you need technical support, it's support at uopeople.edu. Okay, so that's for Neil Kelly. Support at uopeople.edu. Can you submit assignments to your advisors? No, your advisors have nothing to do with your assignments, so do not send them. Some concepts in your course are difficult to understand. Okay, explanation, that is what your instructor is for. So please stay in touch with your instructor. They are there to give you any help you need. Okay. Computer science link, I don't have. If that's a class, you need to get from your program advisor. Click on online class, but there's no survey. Okay, it may not be up yet. So on that sustainability quiz, you can ask your instructor. I'm not sure if they wait to put that in the survey. I don't know. I'm sorry. How can we create reference to website? Okay, so I'm going to take you back to APA style. And I'm going to show you where to do that. So when we click on style and grammar guidelines and you get all these topics, references, okay? And so it tells you all the things you need and then reference examples, online media for a website, and then web page on a website, and it'll walk you through all the different examples. So a news website, comment on a news website, government agency. Okay, so that's different. So this might be, for example, Huffington Post or Newsweek or CNN. And then sometimes you have National Institutes of Health or like Department of Education. Okay, and then organizational group. So you have to look on here. Here's an author. You have to pay attention to what you have. Okay. Now, retrieval date, retrieved the date from, and notice these don't have a retrieval date. The reason you want to put a retrieval date is when you think that something might change. So if you tell me that you got this from information from the US Census Bureau and I go look it up and it's not accurate anymore, then I'm going to think you're wrong. But the reason is because the information changed. So that's a good reason to put a retrieval date to say, hey, it might be different now, but on January 9th, it was right. Okay, so that's the reason you put a retrieval date. So whoever asked that question about website, here you go. And the way I got to that was I went to Style and Grammar Guidelines, and then I went to References, and then I went to reference examples, and I picked which one it was. Okay, so this might be like a podcast or YouTube. This would be like a research study, and then this would be like a book or an article. So even if it's textual, it can still be online. Okay, so this is textual, right? So it's not a hard copy, but we still consider it text. If it's podcast, like I said, podcast or YouTube or a website. This is not a website. Okay, this is an article, a textual article. Okay. Ending time for the meeting was 10 o'clock. I'm just staying on a little bit longer to try to get some of your questions answered. So, Mohammed, that was you that asked about APA, right? What if your instructor says plagiarism on your assessment? Okay, well, it's Mohammed, it's really easy for new students to plagiarize. So your instructor should be able to send you the report that shows you what you plagiarized, and just take it as a learning lesson so that you don't do it again. Richard, okay, glad you're here. You're going to want to watch the recording. Could I show the part about APA again? And I don't know if that was here that you mean, or APA style website. So, Irene, could you be more specific about which APA site you want to see? Yammer, I know nothing about. I'm sorry. I think it's probably a neat tool, but I have not used it, so I cannot tell you. Library and Jstor. Okay, great question. Here we are. So Jstor here is just more of what's not in our regular library. And I don't know if you have access to everything in here. Let's see. All right. So I just typed in college success and see how many results I got. So we want to be sure that we filter, right? So let's watch our from and to date. So from 2017 to 2021. Okay, we're going to apply. Oh, looky here, a guide for college students by college students. Hey, that might be something that will help you, right? And so here is how you would download the PDF, and just accept and download. All this stuff is going to be free, right? And here's your article. So that whoever asked that question, thank you. I forget to show Jstor, and it's another collection of resources for you. High school, okay, that, learning disabilities, if any of you have been identified. So yeah, lots of stuff. So thank you for asking about Jstor. because it's a great resource. Okay. So that was Muhammad. Okay. The link for physiology, I don't know if you're talking to me, George. Journal and publication, nothing. They're the same. A journal is a publication. So Joshua, nothing. They're the same. Okay. Sites to access more info about APA. All right. So I think your best resource right now is APA style. That should tell you everything you need to know. Now, sometimes if you can't find the answer right away, you might say, how do I cite myself in APA? Okay, something like that. EDU means it's a college, so that's a reliable source. LibGuides is a reliable source. EDU. Okay, slideshare.net, I don't know who that guy is. Anybody could say anything. .net. .com, I don't know who that is. .edu, that's a reliable source. Okay, so sometimes you just Google, but I think your best resource is APA style, the webpage, APA style. If you just put it into Google, it will find it for you, APA style. Okay, and there you go. Okay. Now, Purdue Online, we call this Purdue OWL Online Writing Lab. It's also a very good resource. I think APA style is a little easier to use. That's why I generally recommend it, but you'll see a lot of stuff about Purdue OWL, and it is a very good site. But for me personally, I send my students and I use APA style. Okay, so Balde, I hope that answered your question. How many hours do I need to spend on per course? Well, Garanjo, I guess, or Roy, you know, realistically 10 to 15 hours per course, particularly at first. Once you figure out the library and APA, you're not going to use that much time, but at minimum, I would say 10 hours. If you're doing less than that, you're probably not doing as much work. How can we create a reference to a website? Okay, so that's where you're going to go back to APA style and look at the examples, online media. Okay. In the Learning Journal, we just upload Word or PDF. No, type directly into Moodle. So do not upload anything in the Learning Journal. You can format in the Learning Journal. So let's see. LRC, no. Okay, so is this a Learning Journal? Yep. I can't show you, but if you type on that blank page, you can do all the formatting. So you can have italics and you can indent. So for your instructors' ease, please do not upload a paper into the Learning Journal. Just type directly into it. Redo the graded quiz. No. And you know what? I forgot to talk about the self quizzes. So guys, I'm going to go back to our page. Which one is this? This is a new one. Okay. So pay attention to this. We're going to talk about your self quizzes because there was not one in week 1, but in week 2, self quiz. Week 3, self quiz and graded quiz. Please take these self quizzes. They're not for a grade, right? But they help you on the real quiz. So please don't skip these, all right? Preview quiz, and you can take it as many times as you need, right? So keep taking it until you get a 100, then take your graded quiz. So you've got a graded quiz in 3, self quiz, 6, and then in 9, unit 9, you have a really long review quiz that you want to take because it'll help you on the final exam. Don't take those exams until you get a 100 on your self quiz. Okay. So no, you cannot redo any graded quizzes. Cuccelli, I don't know why you can't see her here. You will get a recording. Oh, you disconnected. Okay. Submit online classroom, no quizzes. Yeah, that's like I say, you might need to get in touch with your instructor because I don't know if maybe they wait to put those quizzes in there. I'm sorry, I can't answer that. Okay, written assignment, create your own title. Oh, thought I answered that. Okay. Find the recording, you'll get an email link. Okay, I think we're going to have to probably cut this thing off for our webinar manager. You get a badge from completing the activities in the Learning Resource Center. So all those activities I showed you, like in, peer assessment, if there are any activities, not in that one. I know there are in like sustainability, English language. Okay, so when you do those activities, you start getting badges. So that's how you get badges. Okay, access on journals. Rewatch, Austin, the webinar, because I showed you how to get journals. Okay, your UOPEOPLE ebook, if you mean your course book, that's going to be in your learning guide, in your annotated resource list, and that's your book. Again, I recommend you save that as a PDF on your computer so you can always get to it. Recording of the webinar will come to you through email. Okay, guys, I'm going to have to go because it looks like all these questions you'll be able to get the answer from the recording. So I appreciate everyone dialing in. I'm sorry I kept you 45 minutes over, but I think, as long as you knew that you could leave and that you stayed, then, I'm glad you were here. All right. So again, is today your first course? Class started last Thursday, Kathleen. So you're almost done with this week. Okay. Samuel, rating more than one peer assessment. You have to rate 3. Okay. And yes, on the enroll button in the LRC, it may not be functional, but it is actually enrolling you. Okay. All right. So I'm going to sign off. Your instructor is your best contact. Oh, yeah. And I want to show you those slides again because I have the, I'm going to stop sharing my screen because I know it freaks you out. Where are my slides? Well, I don't know. It didn't upload them. And share my screen for you. Okay. So here are your points of contact. So your first point of contact should be your instructor. After that, your program advisor. If you don't know who your advisor is, here is the general email address for advisors, and they'll get you to the right person. If you need IT support, this is the address. So those are your points of contact if you need any assistance. But again, your instructor, just kind of always start with them, right? Because that's what we get paid for. No, not really. But yeah, that's why we're here, right? Okay, so I'm going to say goodbye. Isa, I'm not sure how to pronounce that. You don't know where to start. I would say watch the recording of the webinar when it gets to you. And if you're late, get in touch with your instructor. Okay, so I'm going to sign off. Thank you again for joining us. I hope that you feel better. I know this was kind of fast, and I know I just throw things at you, but just watch the recording if you need it, and that will help you. All right. So with that, I'm going to say goodbye. Thank you. You are very welcome. We will have another webinar in week 3. That's called a check-in webinar. So you're gonna get an email about that. We're gonna have it, I think, 2 Mondays from now. So that'll help you, as you're getting where you're like, oh, this is no problem. I'm an old expert now, right? All right. So everybody have a good rest of your day or evening. And like I said, please let us know if you have any issues at all, and we will help you out. All right. Bye-bye. Jesus.